Hello and welcome. This is the Astrology of the Week Ahead podcast. I'm your host, Chani Nicholas. In this episode, we are talking about the astrology of the week of September 18th, which begins out messy, y'all. She does not care about your plans and your little 1, 2, 3, let's get this done. The beginning of this week is a little bit of a landslide. So let us prepare ourselves for this inevitable situation, or let us be prepared for worst case scenarios. And then if they don't happen, we can have extra spaciousness in our auras and selves and days and calendars. So the deal is that the sun is making opposition with Neptune, which is excellent for daydreaming. As I always say, it's excellent for imagining. It's excellent for fantasy. It's excellent for illusions. It's not excellent for reality. So if you can use it for the previous and not necessarily the latter, then yay. If we know that we are trying to create the illusion of something, then we don't mistake it for the reality of something else. And then we can, work with this. Or we could just be like a little extra, what some people would call lazy, what other people would call responding to the currents of the cosmos. And we could just not for the beginning of the week. We could not push it. We could not try to force it. We could not try to, sweep the ocean. That meme where the guy is like sweeping the ocean. We could try to not do that, or we could do it and know that we're not actually going to get anything done. So we want to work with what's going on, and what's going on is sloppy. So if we can, have fun splashing around, great. If we're going to try to control everything, we're just going to waste a lot of energy. So we're going to hit pause on trying to control the beginning of the week, and instead we're just going to go with the flow of it. And that's really like Monday, Tuesday. Once we get into Wednesday, something shifts. We get realigned with a little bit of a sturdier kind of energy. And then by the time that Friday, September 22nd rolls around, we're moving into the equinox, and there is an exciting shift and new beginning in the air. I love the equinoxes. I love the solstices. They are segments of the year that we can really work with. And I think that they help us to remember the importance of smaller parcels of time. I read this book recently. It's called The 12-Week Year. And it's all about planning your life in 12-week segments instead of in yearly segments. And as I was reading it, there's a ton of great stuff in there. If you're interested, go forth and check it out. But the essence of what I got is like, oh, this is so aligned with the solar cycle of the year. Because if we think of the winter solstice as the seed, as the metaphorical new moon of the year, that is where it's like the shortest day, longest night, but it's like a new moon in that there's a lot of darkness, and we want to plant something in the magical, generative, dark space of our unconscious life and underground. And then as we move into the next equinox, we can see what has taken root, what is starting to sprout. And if we work in these little segments, these 4 quarters of the year, if we work within the terms of the equinoxes and solstices, then this is a really exciting pivotal moment. Because we know we've got 12 weeks until the end of the year, basically. We've got 12 weeks until we get to the December solstice. So now that we're at the equinox, I want you to think not about what you haven't done. I mean, you can, but whatever. It's really about okay, what do I need to cut ties with? What am I moving away from? Okay, I tried to do things. I did a couple things. Did they work? Did they not? I can take stock of them. But I know I've got this 12 weeks left of this year or of the next season. I've got 12 weeks until the next season, and it's a good parcel of time to work with. And if I think about what I want to focus on for this 12-week period, the equinox is such a pivotal, energetically charged moment to help us kind of get realigned with that. So I invite you to use this equinox to say like, okay, whatever has happened in 2023 happened, but I've got this next little chunk. I've got this season, and I want to be able to focus on this one or two things, or three or four, but you don't have to focus on the world. You don't have to get everything done. What would be the most satisfying thing to focus on and to practice over the course of this next season, so that when we get to the winter solstice or the December solstice, depending on your hemisphere, we can be like, okay, we did that, or let's reflect on it. What did we do? And then we can like restart again at the next solstice. So I invite you to be on this new kind of like seasonal journey with me. I'm always talking about that, but I like the reframe of the 12-week year, as the book calls it, because it really does say like, don't try to do a whole year at once, because what most of us do is we end up waiting until October to do all the things we wanted to do in the year. And so this shortens the timeline, and it makes the marathon much more doable and sustainable. And so we want to focus on less, perhaps, but really about what's important to us. This is a different season. We need different things. This is about what your body needs, about what your psyche needs, about what your emotional life needs, about what your relationships need in this season of your life, what your work needs, what your body needs, all these things. What do you need now, and what are you going to focus on for the next season, so that you can feel like you've made some really pivotal and meaningful. It's not about accomplishing and ticking things off necessarily. If you want to do that, go ahead. But what would be the most meaningful thing for you to focus on and to realign yourself with? We're moving into Libra season. This is all about balance and coming into harmony. And the South Node is now in Libra, and we're going to have our first South Node eclipse in Libra within this season. And that's all about what we need to let go of or take off the scales in order to find a new balance. So bearing all of that in mind, how are you wanting to enter this next equinox? So Libra season begins on the 22nd of September. Many, 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 many equinox blessings. We have blog posts about the equinox, how to mark it. We have rituals in the app for this equinox. We have a guided meditation, journal prompts, all that stuff in the Chani app. Please go there and use it. Use what you want. Leave the rest. I hope some part of it is helpful for you. Thank y'all for leaving us reviews in the App Store. I wanted to leave you with this one. It's called What a Relief to Have Some Help. This app came to me at the right time. I was feeling so lost and struggling to find a rudder to help me navigate the stormy waters of my life. The Chani app provided me such a safe place to explore the larger patterns of our lives and help me to see meaningfulness in the small, precious things day to day. The journal prompts and affirmations help me stay connected to my truth, and the weekly readings guide me as I take steps forward in a new life adventure. Thanks for being my astrological companion, Chani. I'll see you back here next week for the very bold, the very courageous full moon in Aries. Bye for now.